What's going on today, Maureen?
So, growing up, we used to have these wonderful pickles that we only called strubs, but I didn't realize that they were called full sour pickles. And basically, they're a fermented pickle, but the brand name was called strubs. So we just always called them
Strubs.
I actually, in my hometown, I don't even think that we could actually buy them. Like they weren't something that we could get. And down in Vancouver, my aunt, that's how we were introduced to them, would bring them up. And so at Christmas time, it would be always that special thing where you go, we're getting strubs pickles. My brothers did not like them. They go, who's opening the stinky pickles? About a month ago, I said to Marissa, why don't you make some full sour pickles? And she did. And what I found was this.
Shoot from the hip. Ad lib.
When you do those things, you
I know, and then they get in there, and
You're
then
gonna
people,
put them in.
and then people think that I'm weird, and it's like,
And you are weird.
I'm unique.
You are uniquely weird. Okay, so take 2.
Cause the sound went off. Again, this is gonna go in there, and I'm gonna go. This is not how I act.
What do you mean? You do act sometimes like this. You're not all that straight edge, and you're a little bit fun.
I'm so thankful that you think that.
We're interrupting that process because the receiver went dead, and so we have no sound, and we basically have already almost finished making the pickles that we're talking about. But we have extra cucumbers, so we're going to be making a quart jar of those pickles so that you can learn how to do them. So
why are we making these pickles?
because you love fermented and pickled things.
Absolutely.
So a month ago, I had asked Marissa to make some full sour pickles, which I had called strubs growing up. And I don't know if I got that in there.
Right.
But they were actually full sour pickles. And that means that they are just fermented, no vinegar, just a saltwater brine. And we couldn't get them in our hometown. And my aunt, who lived in Vancouver, she would bring them up. And so at Christmas time, we'd always get a jar of these strubs pickles. And my sister, my mom, and I, we loved them. And they were so delicious. But, you know, yes, it's fermented, so it does have a little bit of a, you know, twang smell.
My brother said to me, oh, who's eating the strabs? And they call them the stinky pickles. So these are just wonderful.
We are going to show you how to make full sour pickles.
But should we try them for the audience? Again,
Absolutely.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, I don't mind if I do.
Oh, quality control.
Call quality control. And these are lovely and crisp.
Yeah. And
Clean hands. We're going to take you through the process of how to make these sours. And at the end, we're also going to show you something that's fabulous that Marissa discovered. The brand name of it is called Gut Shot. And this is another great probiotic that you can take in the morning. And we're going to show you that at the end. So stay tuned.
all right, so to start us off, we are going to be using these mini cukes. Unfortunately, we're just out of the season of our own homegrown cucumbers, but I don't know that I can go this winter without eating fermented sour pickles. So what we've done already is we have tipped and tailed them. We've just taken off just a little bit of an end, and we're gonna go ahead and add those to the jar.
So I'll do that.
Sure.
So to start, I am just going to be putting in some dill into the jar. That should probably be enough. You can put them all in there. And then I am going to put them on their sides so that I can kind of layer them in there and get them really stuffed.
So the fermentation process that we're using is called the lacto fermentation process. And this is done with a 2% saltwater brine. So I've added some salt to some hot water and trying to get it all mixed in. And then we're gonna add this to cold water. And the reason why we're adding it to the cold water is because we don't wanna have hot water on the pickles when we're putting it over top of them. Now you can flavor this with other things. We're gonna add some peppercorns, mustard seed, and some bay leaves and garlic.
And one of the great things about the bay leaves
is that they are full of tannins, and the tannins help to keep the color of the pickle as well as the crispy crunch.
So I can't quite get this last one in there, but I'm gonna kind of do a halfer. We need to leave space because we are going to put a weight on it. So we might just have to put this aside and eat it.
Nah, we'll just eat it.
No, I don't. No, there we go.
The more pickles, the better.
We've got some grainy mustard, so some dark and light, and we're gonna pour that in, and some fresh peppercorns that we're gonna add in. And I am gonna just throw in these bay leaves that came from our garden, and some garlic. You wanna put about, I don't know.
About 3 cloves for every quart.
Yeah, you know, but you like eating the garlic, so we put a little extra in.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stuff all
Anything that's fermented, in all honesty. So one of the reasons why I really like to have fermented foods in the winter is because it's really good for your gut health. And your gut health is where we're going to be having the production of serotonin. And so this allows us to go through those long winter months where we don't have the sun, and kind of help to keep your body in regulation. It helps to also boost your immune system at the same time, and kind of keeping some of those sad blues away. So I really like eating fermented foods.
Yeah, but also it's so good for the gut health. You know, so you're putting in basically probiotics into your digestive system, which is really great as we're going into these winter months where, you know, the meals are a little heavier, and also then the holidays are coming. So, you know, having yourself like a 1/4 cup of kimchi for every meal, or at least once in the morning, is a really good thing. Or, you know, a fermented pickle. These are all really good things to actually keep your digestive system working well through the fall and winter.
And there's many different strains of bacteria, so it's important to have different types of fermented foods. So you have your kefir or kefir. Kimchi, you've got the fermented pickles.
Fermented sauerkraut.
Yes.
Not sauerkraut that has been canned, but just fresh sauerkraut that you've done the same thing to.
And if you're not into eating your probiotics, then you could always do an apple cider vinegar drink with a little bit of water.
Yeah, and also sourdough bread.
Yes, sourdough bread actually is technically a lactobacillus or lacto-fermented like this as well.
Yes.
That's where the sour comes from. Now we're going to add the warm water solution with the salt and mix that all together. We are using a coarse pickling salt that does not have any additives to it. This is super important because, again, we are relying on the natural bacteria inside of the cucumbers to become pickles.
Right.
So you can go ahead and pour the brine on top of the cucumbers.
Oops. Go slower.
Yeah. Perfect. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a glass weight to the top. You can use a plastic bag with water if you really wanted to, or like a cabbage leaf. What we're trying to do is make sure that all of the cucumbers stay submerged underneath the brine.
Perfect.
And I'm just going to press down a little bit so I can get the lid. And then there are different types of fermentation lids. I really like this ball lid that has a little air flap. And so this just allows the gases to leave without having any of the outside bacteria or bugs get in there. Now, these do start to bubble, and they can actually allow some of their liquid to leave. So this is a great option for that. And we just keep everything onto a plate just in case that happens.
Or a bowl, you know. You don't need anything like just a shallow bowl is always good.
And then it's
Ooh,
just
it's tight.
It is.
It's good.
And that's it.
Done. Number 1, done.
So we're gonna let them sit for anywhere between 2 weeks to 3 weeks.
4 weeks is better.
We have found that, in all honesty, the longer that they sit, the more sour that they are. And we have a pretty cool house, so it's better if we let them sit longer. Sometimes it's as short as 5 days in the summertime with a hot home.
Wow.
But with our home, at the cooler temperature that it is, we're just gonna let them sit for a nice little while. I think I have enough to tie us over.
The homegrown ones have been made and then made again. So as they came in,
And I'm at 4 jars of pickles now, so this is 5 and 6. So
The girl likes her pickles. What can I say?
I get it from my grandma.
So we have this last one, not quite enough. So we'll probably just make up a little bit more brine. All right, so we could go and make some more brine, but what about if we try it where we take some of this already fermented and see if it actually speeds up the fermentation?
Actually, it would be a great idea because starters, kombucha, sourdough,
Right.
everything works like that.
So why don't we just top it, and this will be, okay, and he's not quite covered.
Maybe you just cut him off a little
Okay.
bit. Yeah. We'll sacrifice a little bit of the cucumber.
Well, he can probably go beside, and it is just a nice little bite. So it'll just be a little bite. I think I can get in there.
Okay.
So, yeah, that works.
We're gonna pop the lid on this one. This one does not have a weight on it, so we should keep an eye on it to make sure that the brine is always covering everything.
Yeah.
And again, this one has the starter in it, is what
Yeah.
we're gonna call it. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Very cool experimentation. These ones are going to look like this one, which this one is
About 3 weeks old.
about 3 weeks old. So it's looking great, and lots of cloudiness. You want to see them get nice and cloudy. Once you start eating them, it's best to just put them in the fridge to keep them cool. As I said earlier, Marissa also discovered gut shot. So years ago, I went and had a procedure, and they want you to kind of put good bacteria into your body. And there is this product called Gut Shot, and it is just kind of basically a salty fermented drink. And they had beet, and they had a ginger, and of course they had a dill. And so the other day, Marissa realized
This is gut shot.
this is Gut Shot. So in the mornings when she first starts her day,
I take a gut shot.
she takes a Gut Shot. So don't throw out your brine.
No.
Your brine is now a healthy probiotic. And the one thing I find with this one is that it's not as salty.
Correct.
The other one, they probably, because it's manufactured, they have to go through all sorts of protocols. And where if you're just making this at home, you've got your own, delicious probiotic. And this is not salty, it's just that beautiful fermentation.
And it's a little garlicky, a little dilly, a little pickly. It's
A little bit of heaven.
yeah.
So, cheers. It's good. It's good.
That's so tasty.
So, basically, we're fermenting pickles, but we're also making gut shot. Anyway, I hope you're having a great day wherever you are, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. I hope that you will venture out to make some full sour fermented pickles and gut shot for your tummy. Take care.
God bless.
God bless.